Good morning, guys. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. How is everybody doing? Market is crazy. New downside coming in this morning in the pre-market session. We're going to talk about that. We have a lot to go over this morning. Some reciprocal tariffs coming out from China. 84% reciprocal tariffs. United States launched more tariffs against broad-based imports from China. 104% tariff across the board. I mean, this is pretty big, right? On top of what we were already doing. So this is a battle, right? This morning, that news coming out from China, the reciprocal tariffs from China at 84%. So they're not backing down, and the trade war is escalating further and further every single day. And we are also bracing for impact today because there's going to be some more data launched from Europe, right? What they're going to be doing against United States, right? Additional tariffs, possibly. So market's waiting for that. Market's anticipating that today. So we have a lot to go over today. Not just your normal economic data, but also you have your tariff stuff. So yep, that's kind of what we have on the docket today. We're going to dive into it. We have about 700 people in this stream already this morning. And hopefully the audio is better. I think I fixed some things actually midstream last session. So I'm hoping that this time we're all good and we're all clear and ready to rock. So anyways, welcome in. Hope everybody's doing well. Audio sounds good. Audio sounds crisp. And I'm also figuring out the camera settings and everything. It doesn't matter, but I'm just figuring out the camera settings and stuff, getting everything perfect. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of playing with it as we go, but we're learning a lot, and that's all that matters. Anyway, so we have 700 people in here already. Do we want to wait for the stragglers? No, we're not going to. Okay, let's move on. So economic data for today's session. Today's session is an important session. The reason why is because we have one data release today. It's FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Okay, FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. is going to have a reactionary move in the market. Basically, you guys already know what this is, right? You have FOMC, which is your big stuff, right? That's your Federal Open Market Committee, right? That decides interest rates in the economy. They have an open dialogue between all their FOMC members, right? And the dialogue is basically this FOMC minutes, right? It's all of the meeting notes from that session. Now that's important because it's going to indicate what they want to do for the economy, like for the Fed funds rate, and what their plan is. And the key thing that people are going to be looking for is the word recession. People are going to be looking for the word recession. Are we going into a recession right now? I mean, honestly, I think most of us probably already know that we kind of are in a recession already. Jamie Dimon this morning just came out about 5 minutes ago, right before I started the stream. He said that the chances of recession is likely. Okay, so you're already having a lot of fear across the board. I think the market already is anticipating recession. Recession is not necessarily a bad thing in the eyes of the Fed, because if the Fed thinks that there's going to be a recession or is indicating we're going to be in a recession, then what do you think they're going to do to interest rates, right? Interest rates will be lowered. So there is some positivity behind recession in the eyes of the Fed. Across the board, though, obviously not good, right? Anyway, besides that, we also have tomorrow's session of CPI, Consumer Price Index, right? Even if we go into recession, the Fed can't lower rates until CPI gives us a better read, right? And so CPI tomorrow is your Consumer Price Index that measures inflation. Be careful of that going into that Thursday session, okay? That is the biggest data release we have today, or for tomorrow. Okay, of the biggest data of the entire week is tomorrow. Okay, that's a better way to phrase it. Anyway, today though, what's not on the economic docket today is the fact that we also have what? We also have reciprocal tariffs coming out from Europe today, probably. Okay, the market is looking for that headline, so be careful of that particular headline because it's going to cause a big reactionary move in the market. On the earnings docket, bam, bop, we're out of here, nothing. Okay, let's go right over to our trading view. Okay, so we must talk about what happened yesterday, right? That should be our first thought. What happened yesterday? Okay, so what happened basically yesterday was you saw a pre-market gap up in the market. Okay, pre-market gap up in the market. And we gapped up into the previous day high around that Monday high 523. And I think on the ES chart, it actually becomes a bit easier to see why that 523 is important. If you guys are live trading with us, you guys know we were talking about that 5300 ES level, right? This was a very, very big level. And truthfully, if you shorted that high yesterday, it was not the easiest high to short. Okay. The reason why I say this is because technically you look at this structure here, right? Even for myself, I did get a little bit of the short here at 523. I took a little bit of it, but it wasn't a move that I was able to capture a huge hold on. And the reason why is because and by the way, my trading view is absolutely lagging right now, but we're back. Okay, we're good. The reason why this level was hard to short was because if you use the replay feature and you look and see what the market was doing at the moment we went short, it basically was doing what? Structuring higher, right? It's difficult to short in uptrends like this, right? It's very difficult to see this as a potential short. That's why I think that this is what I'm going to tell you is that if the best possible short yesterday was actually not here. And you may think that I'm kind of stupid for saying that, right? Because from a pure risk reward standpoint, this obviously was the best short yesterday. The best short yesterday, in my opinion, was what we talked about in the pre-market session on YouTube. We said yesterday's session that if we lost under 510, 510, if we lost 510 yesterday, we're going to fade, and we're going to fade very aggressively. This is a level that you must hold for bullish momentum. And if we lose 510, that was the best possible short yesterday in the market. This was the best possible short, not this, right? And I know from a risk reward standpoint, obviously this was the best one, but from a probability standpoint, this was actually the best one, right? Because once we lost 510, all the buyers in the market ran away, and that was it. The market just faded back to the next support zone. So yesterday's session, we faded off of supply, right? But that really was not the best short. The best short came in back under 510 for the downside move. And that's our sentiment gauge, right? Our sentiment gauge really is that 510. And not only did we lose 510, we lost 500, right? We lost 510, we lost 500, and we started to make our way towards that 480 down below. Now, if you are watching the market today, right, after seeing yesterday the upside grind and then the downside rejection, well, today's session, something that you've learned recently is that you don't really want to be long or short back into these previous big levels, right? For example, you didn't want to be long yesterday back into this level right here. Or if you were long, you realized you shouldn't be long and you got out, right? That was a very big thing yesterday's session. If you recognize that, then you're good to go. Now, today's session, we must kind of have the same mindset, right? We know 480 is big support, okay? And we just simply moved back from resistance back to support, right? We can't short this low yet, right? This could very seriously, again, become another hold spot in the market, and we don't want to be short into that. So again, if we're going to short today, it really can't be here. It can't be in this box over here. This box over here, we cannot short into. If you're going to short, you want to be shorting a move back under 480. If we can lose under 480, then you can look for a short and a downside play, just like what happened here on the just like what happened here, right? Just like what happened right over here under 510. You see that little short play, the break, the pullback, the retest, and downside move, right? You just zoom in here for a second. Let's just zoom in so you can see it. You can really see what happened, right? Look at this. From an intraday perspective, we break down, higher volume breakdown, retest, pin bar, pin bar, pin bar, downside move. Okay, if you're gonna watch for shorts today, I think it's not going to be right here. It's not going to be in this red box. It simply isn't there. The short is going to be here, okay? If it breaks under, look for the retest short and downside move back under 480. Don't short back into demand here. It's a very important thought process, okay? Don't short here. If you are going to look for retest shorts, right? Again, under 480 or you're going to look for the pop and fade, right? Just like yesterday, pop and fade. Today, I would still watch the pop and fade. The pop and fade spot on SPY is 500 and 510, right? Those are the two pop and fade spots. Watch for resistance, watch for resistance. Those are where you're looking for rejections today, and this is where you're looking for a downside move today. If you're watching for calls today, in my opinion, it's got to be something like this. Maybe a failure under 480, a reclaim, upside, or this. Okay, and again, those are the two upside plays, the only two upside plays. I wouldn't be long on SPY at all unless we are above 500 or we fail 480 and reclaim. Those are the two only long plays I'm watching. The short plays probably are more valid today, right? Look for the pop and fade 500 and the pop and fade 510, or look for the 480 break and retest downside move. So I know I'm kind of like showing you guys both the bear bias and the bull bias, but fundamentally the market's still bearish, right? So if you're looking for longs, you're just scalping it, right? If you're looking for shorts, you're looking for confirmation to go short here off 500 and look for a downside move. You see some pin bars form just like this, right? If you see pin bars form just like that, look for a short side play. If you see pin bars not forming here, right, it just reclaims, don't go short. In fact, maybe look for a long at 500 and an upside play back at a 510, right? I'm just showing you guys the levels, right? It's up to you to see how we react to the levels, how we respond to the levels to then set up the play, right? Just like the play back under 510 yesterday, everybody knows 510 is a level, right? But how did you know to go short under 510? Well, we didn't really know that until when? Until it did what? Until we actually failed back under it, right? We failed back under it. We failed the reclaim. And in this candle right here at 1250, that was like, okay, now you can short move, right? So even though I'm showing you guys, hey, long, short, right? It just simply look to see how we're responding to these levels, and that's going to tell you, hey, should you be long or should you be short, right? Again, don't be short back in 480. Look for shorts at 500. Look for shorts at 510, right? If that gives you confirmation, short it, right? And simple as that. If we break above 500, right, you see some upside coming in, you see a trend forming on the day, then look for longs above 500, right? That should be your mindset today. And on the ES chart, it's the same thing, right? Look at the 5,300 yesterday on ES's chart. This was the level you didn't want to be short. You didn't want to be long into 5,300 yesterday, right? You saw the high yesterday, 5,300, big rejection spot yesterday. And again, today's session, we are back under the 500 level. We're back under the 510 level, which in this case is 5150 ES and 5050 ES. If you're watching for shorts today, you're watching for either 50-50 for shorts or you're watching for 51-50 for shorts. Now, the best possible short, in my opinion, the best possible short on the ES chart, the no-brainer short for me is right here. It's 51.50, right? This is the level of for shorts. The best possible pop and fade short is 51.50 today, and I'm watching that today to see if we can look for rejections there. Again, 50.50 is also a rejection spot, but you may want to look for an extra degree of sort of confirmation before you go short there. So again, I know I'm spending a lot of time on ETFs today, but the volatility is so high, we must talk about it. SPY, again, the best possible short's 510, but you could also watch 500, right? Those are the two levels I'd watch for short side today. Likewise, you don't want to be, I'm saying shorts, right? But again, you guys know the power of 4,800 ES, right? 4,800 ES is a level you don't really want to be short into, right? This area right here is the, hey, if you want to short here, if you see us pulling back to demand here at the 5,800 level, you see us kind of receding back to demand, and you want to go short, well, get up off your computer screen, right? Close everything down, press the power button, walk out of the room, right? Because you don't want to be short in the 4,800 ES, right? I don't care. You don't want to be short in the 4,800 ES. If it breaks down, sure, you can short it. And again, now the question becomes, if you lose 4,800 ES, if you lose the 480 SPY, where do we go to? Well, it's 460, okay? It's 460, it's 460, it's 460, right? It's the high here, it's the high here, it's the high there. If you lose 480 SPY, we go to 460. And if we pull back to 480 SPY today, 460 SPY today, if you pull back this area today, I would actually go long there, okay? I would look for longs here after 460. Why? Because it's a big technical demand that we probably would expect some sort of reactionary move off of. So again, big levels across the board. Let's move on, guys. Let's go over the QQQ. On the Qs chart, it all comes down to what level today? It comes down to 421, right? That's it. This is the level. It's the pre-market high. This would be the equivalent. This would be the equivalent of saying SPY 500, okay? So if you're watching for anything today on the short side, you're watching probably to see if we fail off SPY 500. Because if we fail off SPY 500 and the 421 Qs, that's your best possible short, right? Again, maybe 510, but I think this could be a good level to watch as well. And this is where it correlates on SPY's chart, is going to be watching to see how we respond to this level right here. 421, 422, right? That was the low of yesterday. That was like the breakdown level yesterday. That was that low Friday session, right? If we can respond off this level here, 421, 422, which again should equate to around 500 SPY, then this would be a possible short today. There is also another resistance here around 430, but to me, it's not as big of a level. But for the QQQ traders, I'm going to have you guys put it down, right? Just understand there is a level here at 430. 408 was that big level we spoke about yesterday. And then under 408, we go to 400. Under 400, 385. Those are the big levels we have on the Qs, okay? So I want to move on, guys. I want to move on. I want to talk about... I want to skip out of this stuff. Let's go over. Let's talk about our main tickers of the day. Let's talk about Nvidia. So we spoke yesterday about Nvidia. We traded Nvidia live yesterday. We took this trade yesterday, and I didn't really make much money from it, but we did catch something, right? And this is what we spoke about yesterday. We spoke about the 104 break and retest. We went long. We went long right here, right there. Okay, right there on Nvidia's chart. Not there, right here. Okay, right there. And we got the upside move back into here, and that was pretty much my day yesterday on Nvidia. And I got stopped out of the runners right there. And the reason why I got stopped out of runners here on the Nvidia chart was, one, because we started breaking structure. Okay, so we started breaking the overall upward structure here. You see the little upward structure? The upward structure was broken here on Nvidia. Eventually, we started breaking that upward structure. But not only that, we'll realize, oh shit, right? I'm long Nvidia when look what the ES is doing. The ES is failing off of 5,300, right? This was the failure point yesterday in the market, and that's why we faded yesterday. Now on Nvidia today, you ask yourself this. You say, well, where do we want to go long on Nvidia today? Where do you want to go long on Nvidia today? And the simple answer to your question is, we don't want to go long in Nvidia today, right? Why? Because we're back under 104, we're back under 100, we're back under all of our critical levels. The only way we can go long on Nvidia is first of all, if the market gets some crazy strength today, which I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does get crazy strength, then maybe you can long Nvidia, but only above 100 now. If it can reclaim 100, you have an upside play back in 104. Okay, that's the only thing I see in the Nvidia chart. That's it. Hands are off now, right? This to me does not look particularly bullish. In fact, if you want to go short Nvidia, well, you could probably watch and look to see if we can break under yesterday's lows, right? Under Tuesday's lows, 95 and change. If you break under 95, you can look for the bear flag, right? The little bear flag play to form. So if you're going to trade Nvidia, watch to look to see if we break under 95 for puts or above 100 for calls. That's it. That's all you're doing. Trade the high, trade the low. That's it. Walk away, right? Now, from a larger time frame perspective, you can see that we basically did a little bit of a oh shit, we're bullish. Oh shit, no, we're bearish, right? That's what happened yesterday in Nvidia. That little breakout, bam, bullish, up, bearish. That was a major FU to bulls. So thankfully, I was not involved in that anymore. I walked away. But you can see that the bear flag is still very much so intact. And if you do lose 95, if you lose a 95 support zone today, you should in theory move back down to the bear flag lows, which would be 86, 87. So if the market does get some weakness today, then look for the Nvidia downside under 95. That could be a good breakdown play. Again, if it breaks out today, look for only trade it long if it breaks above 100. On the AMD chart, I think this is a dead fish, right? We're looking at a dead fish sitting for a few weeks now, right? This is horrible. This does not look good. We failed back under 90 or 89, 89.50. Right? Remember we said, hey, watch this big red level here. We said yesterday's session, don't be long back in 89.590, right? This is your possible fade zone, and that's where we faded yesterday. We did move a little bit higher, almost a 7% equity move. And granted, you look at the charts yesterday's session and you think, why were we long yesterday, right? Well, because actually the market did move long side really well off the open yesterday. But the bear side move, look at this, a 7% equity move off the pre-market low, right? Holy Moses. But then look at the bear side play, the upside move, which is an unprecedented upside move. 7% move on AMD is unprecedented. And then, oh my God, we just moved 14% in the other direction. The volatility we're seeing across the board is insane, right? If you are don't get used to this volatility because it's not going to last for much longer. But you look at this chart and like, why were we even long yesterday in chips? Well, because we had a 7% move, right? We actually did move well off the demand lows, but the market moved even better on the short side plays, right? And that's what you saw yesterday, 7% equity move upside, followed by a 14% equity move downside. Now we're back under 80. We're back under my level here. I don't know what we can do here at this point. As long as we're under 80, I would not be long AMD. Simple as that, right? This is a pop and fade. Look for downside as long as we're under 80. That's the only thing I see here in this chart. On the SMH, though, we still have that critical daily demand below, okay? And there is some reasoning as for why we may need to pull back a little bit further on the SMH, right? It's possible we may need to see a little bit more of a pullback to the 160 level, because again, you have that daily high, and the breakout level, right? So we are still a bit away from the 160 demand, right? We're actually still quite a bit away. If you zoom into it on the intraday, you're going to see that, well, we're trading right now at 179. That's almost about a 19% drop, or the equivalent of an 8% equity drop, or even 9% equity drop before we get that critical demand below here on the SMH. So, I am seeing, I was long yesterday in Nvidia, and I'm happy I was long yesterday in Nvidia, made money in Nvidia, but you can see that maybe chips do need a little bit more of a slide, right? That could be a potential idea here. And the only thing that would change that would be, hey, maybe Nvidia gets above 100. That would be the only long spot I see here. Above 100 for longs, but until then, look for the fail back on a 95 for puts. Okay, and AMD, there's not a bullish thing in AMD right now that I can even tell you guys, right? I don't see anything here on the bull side. Let's. Oh my God! So someone donated money. Felony, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Wow, I just saw that. That's my first. I think it's my first donation. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. That is so cool. I didn't even know I could get that. I didn't even know I could get donations. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I'll buy myself a new mic or something. I don't know. Awesome. Thank you guys. So let's move on, guys. Let's go over Tesla. So Tesla's chart. On the Tesla chart, on Tesla, 215 is the level to watch in Tesla. This is probably going to be one of my top short watches today. Under 215 for puts. If this breaks under 215, we can look for a very, very nice, clean downside play back down to 181, right? This is probably one of my top watches for shorts today. Yesterday, we failed off the major reclaim the major reclaim level, right? 251 was the major reclaim level. We failed right off the rejection spot. Now we're back at the pre-market low 215. Do we fail under 215? If we do, this could be a very nice break and retest downside play back into the 183 level. I am surprised that Tesla's been holding up relatively well, because it's interesting how weak Tesla was when the market was moving pretty sideways. And now that the market's been moving down, Tesla has this little bit of resiliency, but I don't know if it's actually going to hold. I think maybe it's just, I don't know what it is, but if it does lose this 215 level, you can see from the 4-hour time frame, right? Look at the 4-hour on this chart. You'll see here, right? 215, 215, 215. You don't want to be short at 215, right? You don't want to be short at this level, but if we do break under 215, then we can look for the downside play back into that move back into 181, right? So very, very clean chart here, guys. And this is absolutely my top watch for shorts today under that level. Okay. If we see a pop and fade today, the only fade spot I have here on Tesla is back here, right? It's not 230. It's actually back at that 251. That's where I would be looking for rejection shorts. So if you're looking for rejection shorts, you're watching for here. If you're looking for breakdown plays, you're looking for a continuation play back under 215, right? And that's what I'm watching today, right? Let's move on. Let's go over Apple. On the Apple chart, Apple, this is something that I think we must be aware of today. The market will not be strong as long as we're under this 180 level on Apple, okay? Reciprocal tariffs from China is obviously making it, this is what's causing the Apple downside. Apple right now is the weakest beta name in the market this morning. And that is caused by the retaliation effort from China this morning, right? As long as this chart is under this 175, even 180, right? This probably is going to have a profound impact on how SPY trades today. I don't think we should even touch long side until I see Apple get above 175, right? At least on Apple, right? So if I want to look for calls today, I wouldn't on this chart unless we get above 180, 175. But this red zone here, we get above it, maybe look for longs there. But the best short, in my opinion, is going to be on some sort of failure play here, right? If we see a failure play come in here off the previous Monday lows and the breakdown level from yesterday, this is going to be an excellent short today. So I know this is far-fetched this morning, but if you see this fail off the 175 today, I'm looking for, people are buying me coffee. You guys are crazy. You guys are very nice. That is very cool. I'm gonna invest in a better mic or something. I don't know. That's awesome though. Thank you guys. Very, very, very kind of you. John, thank you. Thank you, John. That's awesome. Oh, and make sure to like if you guys can. Wow, we have 1,500. Where are you guys coming from? 1,500 people here. That's crazy. Like and subscribe if you guys can. That's awesome. So many of you guys are here. Awesome. Thank you, John. Thank you, Felony, guys. All right. So 175 key level, right? If you're looking for fade spots today, this is the level I'd watch for, right? I know the downside was pretty severe yesterday in the chart, and I know we're opening right into that level this morning. But if there's going to be any rejection spot, it's got to be here, right? It's got to be back at that Monday low. It's got to be back at that Tuesday level, this little breakdown level. As long as it's really, in my opinion, it's really 178, right? It's this whole zone between 178 and I'm gonna make some adjustments here as well with you guys, right? I want to make some adjustments. It's 178 to 175, right? If I see a failure come in here between 178 and 175, that's going to be your best possible short today, right? So watching that as well. I know this is probably a little bit on the back burner, but this could be a solid short opportunity off this 178, 175. Bit of a wide zone, but that's how wide the ranges have been recently. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Let's go over Meta. Meta 500. It's the Meta 500. The only stock that actually is holding pretty well across the market right now is Meta. Meta is holding 500. Meta is above that Monday level, right? Look at the Monday level here at Meta and compare it to where Apple is, for example, right? Look at Apple Monday level. We're under Apple Monday level, right? We're under that Monday low. But compared to Meta, Meta is well above it, right? Is well above that Monday low. In fact, even above the support from that Monday session, right? So I would not be short Meta. If the market does flip strong today for whatever reason, let's just say market rips today because some sort of deal is made or something happens, right? And SPY's above 500, right? Something happens. Well, Meta is probably going to be your best possible long opportunity, right? So again, I'll show you guys what is relatively strong and was relatively weak. Meta this morning, it looks to me like a relatively strong stock. So watching Meta as long as we are above. Sergio, thank you. Thank you very much. And Tim, thank you. Oh my God, you guys are too kind. That's very nice of you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna use all this to make this nicer. So I appreciate that. But you guys are very nice. You guys don't have to do that. That's very kind of you though. Okay. 500, big technical level. As long as we're holding 500, we are holding support. Express trades. Oh my God, $20. Thank you guys. No, I feel guilty right now, but that's very nice of you. Express. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. 500 support. As long as we're holding 500 support, look for longs. I think the best possible long, though, if you want to get real confirmation on this today, is look for a break and hold above 518. If this clears 518, you have a very nice long and move back into 537, 538. So watch, as long as this is holding 500, we can have bull sentiment here in Meta. This is the only like beta name where I can definitively say, okay, bull sentiment as long as we're above 500 and it's holding. So look for above 518 for longs, back into 537. If we fail back under 500, then everything I said is wrong. And don't listen to anything I say, because if we're under 500, this is not holding and it's going right back down into lows here. So 500 is that hold spot. We must hold 500. As long as we're doing that, we're okay. Okay. So let's move on, guys. Let's go on to Amazon's chart. So on the Amazon chart, Amazon was actually one of my other top watches for longs yesterday, right? I was watching for longs yesterday above 180. It reclaimed 180. Held 180, and we saw a pretty big upside move off the 180. So 180, very big technical level. Now today's session, we're under 180, right? And I don't really like this stock. I don't like Amazon as long as we're under 180. In fact, this to me just looks like a larger time frame bear flag, right? You see a little bit of a forming here, but it's still just a larger time frame bear flag. If you're going to watch for anything today, maybe look for the 180 pop and fade, right? That could be probably a play today. But I think our gauge here, our sentiment gauge should be as long as we're under this Amazon 180, we're not looking for longs on it, right? In fact, we're probably going to short pops. Maybe look for the downside breakdown under 170 for a move back to 151, right? So again, if you're looking for plays today in Amazon, as long as we're under 180, it's your sentiment gauge. Look for puts at 180 or look for a breakdown under 170. Now again, this is not my top watch, but just showing you guys kind of what I'm seeing here in this chart, right? Let's move on. Let's go over Microsoft. Microsoft 350, very big technical level. Look at the daily time from here. 350 is a huge level. I would not be short back into 350 though, right? You can see very big daily level here. I think this was a potential hold spot, right? So you're seeing even the pre-market session, look what's happening here. This is no surprise that in the pre-market, you're seeing some holds come in here off the 349, 350. Don't be short here, right? There are some names you could be short today, right? You want to short something? Look at AMD, right? Look at AMD, right? This is probably a solid short off the 80, right? Maybe even Apple. Look for Apple off the 178 level, okay? But you want to go short on Microsoft. I wouldn't do it, right? Because Microsoft is holding at 350 support, and it's also above that Monday level. So just like Meta, right? Just like Meta and Microsoft both actually holding some big technical levels this morning. So be careful of that. Colin, thank you, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, Colin. You guys are awesome. I gotta figure out how to actually set up like a membership in the YouTube thing. This is really cool though. Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated, Colin. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Awesome. All right, let's move on. Let's go to PLTR. PLTR 80, that was the level yesterday, right? You guys saw 80 as a hold spot yesterday. It maintained a few times and failed below it. Now today, pre-market, the hold spot is still 80, right? If we're under this 80 zone, I would not be so loving of a long play. I want to see us clear 80. If it can clear 80, then you have a potential long back into that 83, 84 level from really 86 from yesterday's session. But until then, I would be far away from longs until this can get above 80, right? Reclaims 80. If it reclaims this green level right here, not the band, but the green level. If it reclaims 80, you can look for a long play back at 86. But until then, I would not be long on the PLTR chart. Okay, let's go on. Let's go over some tickers you guys are watching. IWM. On the IWM, I mean, small caps have been getting battered. IWM, big daily demand below here, 1.7. I mean, this is a level and a half, right? If you've ever seen a level before, it's right in front of you, right? This is a level right now. I mean, I mean, as much as I see that this chart's been battered, right? I mean, I see the absolute failure here on the IWM chart, but you have to look at this daily time frame and say, well, just look how incredible this area is. I mean, this is that 2018 high, the 2020 high. It's that 2020 breakout level, and that became the lows of all of 2022, all of 2023. I think that, for day trades, sure, you want to go short, fine, you can go short in some places, but for longer term pictures, you don't really want to be short here, right? This is the area that I would be looking for reload longs, right? If you've ever had a moment where you said, I want to buy IWM equity, it's here, right? It's staring at you in the face right now, right? It's right here. This is where you want to sort of get some exposure. T Music, thank you so much. I don't know if I said it right. T Music, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. That's so cool. Thank you, guys. I definitely did not say that properly. Anyway, 170 on the IWM, very big level. Avgo. On the Avgo chart, watch the 170 level. Very big level 170. Don't be long Avgo until it clears 170. That could be a potential long, right? If you're looking for longs on this chart, you want to look and see if you can get a break and hold above 170, right? Look for a break and hold above 170. Look for longs above there. That's the only thing I see here in this chart. Nothing else I'd watch out for. 170, break and retest. Okay. Anyway, guys, I think that is where we are going to pause. Thank you all for joining in. I will see you guys all for live trading. Thank you everyone for donating. That's awesome. I really appreciate you guys. Derek, thank you so much. That is really cool. I'm going to use all of this. I'll probably buy a better camera or something. I don't know. We'll do something crazy. Anyway, thank you so much. Happy and safe trading. Bye, guys.